Right, let's take a look at question 5D now, which is state an appropriate hypothesis for this study, and this is 3 marks. You're not going to be rating much, but it's the quality of what you're rating. So what do our hypotheses need to ensure? What do we need to make sure we're looking at? Well, we need to make sure that we talk about our independent variable, our dependent variable, and it needs to be operationalized. So for the IV, what is the difference between the two groups? Well, the difference between the two groups is whether they learnt the list then did a counting task, or whether they learnt the list and then that was followed by silence. That's my IV. For my IV, I'm thinking, what is the difference between the two groups? Well, we've got one group where they learnt the list and then did the counting task, and the other group learnt the list and then sat in silence for a bit. My DV, what did we measure? Well, this is correct recall of Spanish words. Notice how I put in the word correct, because if that participant recalled some Spanish words but they weren't from the list, then that would be an issue. That wouldn't be right. So actually that's not properly operationalized. Correct recall of Spanish words from the list. Because like I say, they might recall some Spanish words, but they might not have been from that list. So I include my IV, I include my DV, and I have operationalised it because I've been really specific in what I'm talking about. Now remember that we always start our hypotheses with there will be a significant difference between X and Y. Okay, that's the basic structure of my hypothesis. Remember, this is an experimental hypothesis, and this one is a directional, non-directional, because I'm not saying what the difference is going to be. So, and that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter whether you put in directional or non-directional for this question. So I would simply put, there will be a significant difference between the correct recall of Spanish words. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'm lying here. What I would do is I would say there will be a significant difference in the correct recall of Spanish words. So I'm kind of putting something there. Between those that learnt the list and then did the counting task, and those that learnt the list and then sat in silence. That's really specific, really operationalised. What I could do is I could say those who learnt the list and then did the counting task will correctly recall significantly less Spanish words than those who did the list and then did sat in silence. That's what I could do. But hopefully you can see that no matter what I'm doing, I'm including the IV, the independent variable, and the DV, the dependent variable, and I've operationalised them. That's what we're looking for in this question. Equally, if you wanted to, you could have put a null hypothesis if there will be no significant difference in the correct recall of Spanish words between those that learnt the list of Spanish words and then did the counting task, and those that learnt the list of Spanish words and then sat in silence.